Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to be doing my first book haul in, I believe, 8 months. So the past 8 months, I've accumulated quite a few new books that I need to share with you all, including some that I recently received as gifts for the holidays. You've all probably noticed that I acquired a copy of Mythology by Edith Hamilton. I have this in a very prominent spot on my shelves because this edition is just absolutely beautiful. It is a special anniversary edition complete with lovely illustrations. This is a book of Greek mythology with, I believe, some Norse myths as well, and it is absolutely beautiful. Even just some of these margin designs like this, absolutely lovely. And then there are beautiful color illustrations, such as this one of Hades and Persephone. I am so happy my dad bought me this, and I'm excited to look through it. It shall now have a place of honor on my bookshelf until the end of time. Now, a lot of books in this haul are going to be classic books. I believe I've mentioned before on my channel that I'm really trying to buy books that I think I might want to reread someday, and or books that my library doesn't have. So those are really the things that I've been prioritizing just so I can spend my money wisely. And I definitely think classic books are things that I might want to reread someday. And also there are just so many stunning editions of classics, so I really like collecting pretty classic books. I actually have 4 different Penguin Clothbound classics that I'm going to show in this haul. I absolutely love those editions. So first, several months ago, I bought myself a copy of Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray. Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery is going to be hosting a read-along for this book in the months of January and February, so I will be taking part in that. This is a thick classic, so I'm excited to have motivation to read this, and also it'll be fun to hear what other people who are reading the book at the same time think. I think this edition is really cute with the diamonds on the cover, and it's a really pretty pale blue. Then I also bought another classic I am very excited to read, hopefully someday soon, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. Anne, I would say, is probably the least well-known Bronte nowadays, but during her lifetime she was the most famous Bronte sister, and I've heard a lot of people on BookTube say she's actually their favorite. I've heard a lot of good things about this book. This is actually the Chiltern Classic Edition. This is the first one of these editions that I've ever bought, but I saw this in Barnes & Noble and I thought it was really pretty, so I decided that I was going to buy it for myself. It also has gilded edges, which is very nice. I don't know a whole lot about the plot of this book, but I do know that it deals with a woman escaping an abusive relationship, and I've heard that this book tackles feminist themes in a way that was quite advanced for the 1800s. So these next 3 books that I'm going to haul, I'm going to talk about very quickly because you can watch my entire blind date with a book video to see the process of me ordering and unboxing these books. I'm going to be reading them for a future vlog. Basically, all 3 of these books I ordered from various blind date with a book Etsy shops, and they were picked out for me by the shop owners. In a vlog, I think around February, I'm going to read them all and see if I think the shop owners gave me good book recommendations. So the 3 books that I received in that video were Find Me in Havana by Serena Burdick, And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini, and Beneath a Scarlet Sky by Mark Sullivan. These are all historical fiction books, and if you want to learn a little more about them, you can go watch that video where I unbox these books and read the summaries on the back. So if you want to learn more, go watch that video. I decided to buy myself another Penguin cloth-bound classic, and I decided to go for The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I have talked before about how much I want to read this book, but it scares me because it's literally 1,000 pages. It's, I think, the longest book on my TBR. However, I think I am absolutely going to love this book. It is a classic revenge story about Edmond Dantes, who takes on the persona of the Count of Monte Cristo to get revenge against the people who ruined his life. I personally love a good revenge story. That's just a trope that I find really interesting, where somebody creates this elaborate plan of revenge to get back at somebody who wronged them. Does this book scare me? Yes, I'm intimidated by its size, but I've heard so many positive reviews, so many 5 stars, and I've heard a lot of people on BookTube say that they're glad they finally decided to read this book when they eventually did. So maybe in 2022 I'll commit to reading The Count of Monte Cristo. I think if I just committed to reading a little bit every day, I could get through it pretty quickly. I think when I end up reading this, it's gonna be great. Now let's talk about the books that I just received for Christmas. So my mom bought me 3 books, which were The Shape of Darkness by Laura Purcell, Love and Fury by Samantha Silva, and In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This one I have seen so many 5-star reviews for on BookTube and Bookstagram. I'm not entirely sure the exact plot of this book. I believe it follows a group of college friends, and years ago while they were in college, someone close to them was murdered and the murderer was never brought to justice. So now they're all back together again for a college reunion, and someone lured them there to find out who actually was the murderer and make them pay, which sounds so interesting to me. I love that trope in thrillers where there's a mysterious figure who is luring people together because they're trying to figure out who the murderer is and exact revenge. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. I'm definitely excited to read this book because there's been so much hype around it. Hopefully I won't be disappointed. My mom also really wants to read this, which is kind of why she bought it for me. So after I read this, I'm gonna have to pass it along to her to see what she thinks. To be honest, I don't entirely remember the plots of these other 2, so I might have to read the descriptions to you. I know this one is a sort of gothic historical mystery set in Victorian era Bath, which excites me. I love historical mysteries, and as you might know if you've watched my channel for a long time, I studied abroad in Bath, England when I was in college. Loved it there, so reading about a book set in that place sounds super cool. The main character is a silhouette artist, and I think murders happen around her. I don't remember exactly what it's about, so I'll read the description. As the age of the photograph dawns in Victorian Bath, silhouette artist Agnes is struggling to keep her business afloat. Still recovering from a serious illness herself, making enough money to support her elderly mother and her orphaned nephew Cedric has never been easy, but then one of her clients is murdered shortly after sitting for Agnes, and then another, and another. Why is the killer seemingly targeting her business? Desperately seeking an answer, Agnes approaches Pearl, a child spirit medium lodging in Bath with her older half-sister and her ailing father, hoping that if Pearl can make contact with those who died, they might reveal who killed them. But Agnes and Pearl quickly discover that instead they may have opened the door to something that they can never put back. Oh, so this is vaguely like paranormal too? Interesting. I'm definitely excited to give this a try. It sounds like it's going to have a great spooky atmosphere, and also it's not that long, so we can counter some of the giant books that I bought recently. Then Love and Fury is a novel about Mary Wollstonecraft, who was a proto-feminist and the mother of the author Mary Shelley. If you watch my videos, you know that I just think Mary Shelley was a super fascinating person, and I read the book Romantic Outlaws not too long ago, which was a dual biography of Mary Wollstonecraft and her daughter Mary Shelley. So the fact that this is a novel surrounding Mary Wollstonecraft's life really intrigued me. I believe it's told from the perspective of the midwife who attends to Mary when she's giving birth to her daughter, the future Mary Shelley. Midwife Parthenia Blenkinsop, I don't know if I'm saying that right, has delivered countless babies, but nothing prepares her for the experience that unfolds when she arrives at Mary Wollstonecraft's door. Over the 11 harrowing days that follow, as Mrs. Blenkinsop fights for the survival of both mother and newborn, Mary Wollstonecraft recounts the life she dared to live amid the impossible constraints and prejudices of the late 18th century, rejecting the tyranny of men and marriage, risking everything to demand equality for herself and all women. She weaves her riveting tale to give her fragile daughter a reason to live, even as her own strength wanes. Wollstonecraft's urgent story of loss and triumph forms the heartbreakingly brief intersection between the lives of a mother and daughter who will change the arc of history and thought. Sounds really interesting to me. Sign me up. Excited to try this too. And finally, my dad also got me 3 books. Thanks, Dad. He got me 4 of the books that I have in this haul today. You're the best. And the first of which is Peril at End House, which is an Hercule Poirot mystery by Agatha Christie. One of the earlier mysteries in the series, I believe. And honestly, I don't remember at all what this is about, so I'm gonna have to read the back to you because I have no idea what happens in this. On holiday on the Cornish Riviera, Hercule Poirot is alarmed to hear pretty Nick Buckley describe her recent accidental brushes with death. First, on a treacherous Cornish hillside, the brakes on her car failed. Then, on a coastal path, a falling boulder missed her by inches. Later, an oil painting fell and almost crushed her in bed. So when Poirot finds a bullet hole in Nick's sun hat, he decides that this girl needs his help. Can he find the would-be killer before he hits his target? So, that's what this is about. Considering it's taking place in Cornwall in the summertime, it sounds like it would be a good summer read. We'll definitely give this a try sometime soon. I enjoy a good Agatha Christie mystery. They're super fun, have this sort of cozy atmosphere, really quick to read. And finally, my dad bought me 2 more Penguin Clothbound classics, and I think they actually look super pretty next to each other. It's Villette by Charlotte Bronte and Middlemarch by George Eliot. Surprise, surprise, I don't remember what the plot of this is. And I can't even read a description to you because there's not one on the book. But Jane Eyre is one of my favorite classics, and I know this one is not going to compare to Jane Eyre. People say that's by far Charlotte Bronte's best book, but I still want to give this a try anyways, just to see what it's all about. And I did have a professor in college tell me personally she thought I would really enjoy this, so maybe I will. You want to get a closer look? I just love these editions. I think they are really cute. Then we have Middlemarch, and honestly, I think this might be my favorite cover so far. I love the pretty pink and the little portraits. I think that's super cute, and I'm excited to have this on my shelf as well. I don't know all the characters in this. I know that this takes place in a village called Middlemarch, and it follows a whole bunch of characters from various social classes and their lives, their relationships, their marriages. The only George Eliot I've read before was Adam Bede, which I thought was just okay, but this one sounds like it's more my thing, so I'm excited to give her a second chance with this book. Again, it's also quite a chunker, but what can I say? I'm really interested in reading Victorian classics, and all of them are super long. But, you know, what can you do? So those are all the books that I have acquired over the past 8 months. If you've read any of the books that I mentioned in this video, do let me know in the comments section down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Which one of these do you think I should read first? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single Wednesday. My social media links are linked down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a festive rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.